listening to Oilers Nation Radio, a member of the Nation network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Dan, Rick, Tyler, and Bag Milk starts now.
Oh,
I've been on the wrong show all these years.
Should I edit this or should I let the people be confused? This is real life.
Real life mistake was made.
Yeah. Episode 382 of the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by the HGA Group, who we love very much.
I'll be Rick.
Yeah. Let's go. And then did you see the video of Rick banging the two beers together?
Nation beers.
Oh yeah. 2 Nation beers. That was.
They do it after every win in the pint downtown.
He went viral.
What a vibe.
What a vibe. I went and saw, I was hosting someone from Toronto to the game on Tuesday, and we're just like, what do you want to do before the game? He's like, do whatever you need to do to, what you need to do to win this game. Like if you've got your thing that you got to do, don't worry about me. I'm just here for the ride. Give me the experience. Like, what do you do before game? Like, well, all right, we got to go to the pint and see Rick. So we go to the pint, and Rick's he's there. He is excited. He's like, we gotta change the narrative. Talking about how it's what Calgary isn't doing to let Edmonton in this series, as opposed to what Edmonton's doing and Calgary can't keep up. He's like, we got to change it. Tell him. You got to tell him. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I'll tell him. And then he texted me to remind me. But we go see Rick. What does he do? We go into the cooler.
You got to
coolie pop.
Have a cooler pop. I have not done a pregame cooler pop. That was very exciting. So we had a pregame cooler pop and then made our way over to the game.
I went and saw Rick after the game, and I went from being buzzed because my BPP was only 1
to Buzz Lightyear
to to infinity and beyond in a real hurry. I walked in, me and Rick in the back room of the pint, probably just hugged for a minute or two.
Yeah.
Well, it was a big night for all Oilers fans, but it was a big night for you personally, with your boy being the hero.
Yeah, it was. And the best part about it is that when he scores goals like that, it's like I scored based on the mentions. So it was very fun. It was very exciting to see everybody on Twitter just super pumped. Rogers Place was going bananas because there for a minute there, it was a little bit tense. In there, the third period.
When that 132-foot clapper went in, I was like, oh my God, we have a new Tommy Salo incident where he takes one off the bean and is never the same again.
Yeah.
Thank God they scored. Or the narrative, if they had tied it up on that and lost. Oh yeah.
To the Oilers' credit, though, they didn't phase them at all. Like they just got back to work and kind of they outplayed the Flames through the remainder of that period.
Oh yeah,
the arena was phased.
Yeah.
Oh man, was it ever? It got real quick. It was like
library in there.
It was like Minnesota Wild in January on a Tuesday, quiet in there.
To quote Morpheus from The Matrix, I believe it's Morpheus. They're beginning to believe.
Oh,
I agree.
And that is a tall tale sign. Bouncing back from that goal against the way they did.
Isn't that Sound of Music?
Oh, who knows?
I'm kidding. They don't believe in shit in the Sound of Music.
We're going to be joined by a friend in a few minutes to talk about that goal against and about the goaltending in this series. Former NHL goaltender and current Daily Faceoff analyst Mike McKenna is going to stop by and have a little bit of a chat with us about the goaltending and things of that nature. Maybe we should ask him. He's a good sport, so I feel like I actually could ask him this. What's the worst goal against he's ever given up?
Oh, I'm sure he's got a few.
I'm sure he's got a
They
good
all
story.
do.
Yeah. That you're right. The air was out of that building in a hurry. I talked about this on the pregame show. Because I'm pessimistic and I have trauma from being an Oilers fan my whole life. There's been moments in this playoff run where I've been like, this is it. This is where shit gets real bad for us. Yeah. And then to the Oilers' credit, shows how strong their mental makeup is right now. They just don't let stuff break them.
They don't.
It's wildly impressive.
Like I
loved your tweet.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I loved your tweet earlier, your web check, where you're like, sports just breaks your heart all the time. Enjoy the non-heartbreaking second of your life. That was funny.
Well, it's true.
I think he's trying to be positive.
Yeah, I'm being positive in the most dark way ever. Like, hey,
was your Remchuckian way.
Hey, Oilers fans, 99% of the time, this shit sucks, but enjoy the 1% because this has been awesome. Like, I don't know. And I don't want to say this because I shouldn't say this. I'll knock on wood. Even if this is the end of the run, if the next 3 games are just terrible, the last 3 weeks have been so much goddamn fun.
Existence.
Yeah. Positive vibes only.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do, but like, Don't do
I
it.
know you guys wouldn't like it, but I just think it's been a lot of fun. Like the city is on fire.
City is on fire.
We
It's
haven't
so
even
good
begun
see.
to have fun yet. How's that?
Okay.
Ooh.
You're telling me there's more.
I was in Ford Hall wobbling around after game 4. Bouncing like I was on a trampoline and
Wobbling
it felt good. It felt real good.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
We're not even half started yet.
Wanya, you'll appreciate what I saw when I went to game 4. So
what did you see?
I went through you'll be shocked actually. I took the Moss Pit entrance to come into the game because I love to just check out the vibe.
Yeah.
First,
like right before the game, this story
like
happens?
this is like an hour before the game or an hour 45 minutes before the game. So once again, hosting someone. So I want to show them the Moss Pit, but I also love going through the Moss Pit. And I'm walking along the Moss Pit and I look to the right and on the patio of the JW is Daryl Cates.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just standing there and like observing and just like he's got a smile on his face and his
Was
daughter.
he smiling?
Yeah, he was smiling. His daughter
That's
Chloe was
cool.
there and he was just like taking it all in.
That's
and like
cool.
And also admiring the beautiful real estate he built. But like it was but like,
Well,
like
the vibe though, like,
but
truly,
like-
that guy did a lot for Oilers fans. It took a long time and he suffered a lot of slings and arrows.
100%. He's seeing kind of the juice of his creation here in terms of like seeing the Moss Pit activated, like the Ice District Plaza now actually, being what it's supposed to be. So like, yeah, so he's taking it, but like he was standing there and he just kind of looked proud and like, but I was just like, I'm like, wow,
that's awesome.
The fact he was out, like you don't see him in public ever. Like,
No.
So that was a huge signal for me. So yeah, I thought you'd like that.
That's cool. I remember when the arena opened and he was on the news and there's like this clip of him walking into the arena for the first time. And it's so funny because he's like a dour dude, right? He's not generally very smiley. And he's wearing like this hilarious velour blazer that probably cost more than like Zach Hyman's contract. And he looks around and he goes, oh, this is just exhilarating. I'm like, oh my God, he probably doesn't even know how to feel happy. So the fact that he's in there, that's good, man.
Yeah, it's good.
There would be no arena if it's not for that guy. We can all agree.
Dude, like you could have went and touched him. Like, like he runs tight security and stuff, but like,
was there goons everywhere?
Like kind of,
you would have touched him and then woken up 15 minutes later.
Yeah, I'd have woken up in a cell somewhere, but he left, like he was in the public.
That's dope.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is really cool. Oh man, what a vibe. What an absolute
That's
vibe
a good omen too.
I thought so too.
That's why I was wondering, because I knew you told me that story the other day. I was wondering, like a guy like Evander Kane just had his baby yesterday, if the old PJ is the one bringing him from the hospital back to Calgary.
Oh, it is all hands on deck.
Has to be.
I think Evander Kane Ubers to the game tonight.
Uber. Well, actually,
It's got to be an Uber Black.
We don't have Uber Black up here.
Uber XL.
Uber XL. Then, yeah, you got to take the best of the best. Uber Comfort.
Uber Comfort.
Turn down the conversation with the driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I wonder if the PJ's out. Got to be.
Oh yeah.
It should. Yeah,
he's probably getting helicoptered from the hospital directly to Calgary. No time to even drive to the airport.
Just like when you're a little kid and you're all in your equipment when you show up to the arena.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to land on the top of the saddle. He's going to come down,
just punch a hole through the roof and into there.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be great.
Like when they dropped SJ Sharkey down from the rafters that one time at a Sharks game, it'll be Kane just coming down as they announce him in the starting lineup for some reason at the Saddledome. I'm a little bit nervous about tonight. I know
love SJ Sharkey.
I know I do. I bring that up a lot.
Yes.
I love that moment of bringing SJ Sharkey down from the rafters. We got a watch party going on tonight. We should plug that quickly.
Yep.
Pint on White.
It
will
is
be packed.
Buzzing. Last game. Yeah. And these are home. Like that was a home game and it was absolutely jammed.
Yeah. And here's a chance for some good value in terms of our draw. Because we have the thing with Cattail Crossing where you can golf with me. What a prize that is.
I'm glad you led with that one because now the prize gets better.
I like Cattail Crossing.
No, I know. Great partner.
And then a night for two at the Fairmont JPL where our friends at Alfa Romeo of Edmonton are,
you also get to spend the weekend with Tyler.
Yeah, no, I will not be coming with you to Jasper, but you get an Alfa Romeo to drive out to Jasper in courtesy of our friends at Alfa Romeo.
Chauffeured by you?
Yeah, chauffeured by Tyler.
Yeah.
Wow, what a prize.
You'll be your sommelier for the weekend.
If you're coming to the Pint on White tonight, get ready. Raffle tickets are $20. Proceeds go to charity.
Yeah, we are with free play for kids this round.
I love it. And the draw is happening at the end of this round, we were expecting maybe 6 or 7 games. It could end after 5. You'd have a nice shot at winning this thing. So shout out to Alfa Romeo of Edmonton and Cattail Crossing. That could work.
That could work. JPL is magnificent, everyone, just so you know.
It's so good.
I wanted to play you guys something. I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see Patrick Maroon on the Pat McAfee show today?
No, but I saw that he shouted out our boys Shrimps of Red. Did he do it again on the McAfee show?
He did not do it on the McAfee show.
Pat McAfee wearing sleeves?
I'd be shocked. No, he was not.
Of course.
But I wanted to show you this clip. So Maroon, I'll play the question, but he was not asked about McDavid, but he loops his answer back to Connor McDavid.
ESPN and Turner deals as opposed to NBC Sports. Have you felt any effect on this? Does this change your life at all? Do you like it for the league? Obviously, people are getting a lot more access to a great fucking sport.
Whoa. Yeah, I think it's huge. We needed that. You know, NBC did a good job, but, you know, it was, for us, it was kind of embarrassing when you turn on SportsCenter and all you see is football and NBA and baseball, and hockey's not even mentioned. And, you know, you got people on there chirping hockey, and it's just kind of like a slap in the face to us because, like, people should know our stars in the game, because right now we're seeing a player named Connor McDavid. He'll probably go down as one of the greatest players of all time. And, you know, Wayne obviously did his thing, but what you're seeing right now in the playoffs is truly remarkable. And the fact that he's not up there with LeBron James or, you know, Tom Brady, I mean, his points per game in the playoffs, he's breaking records, and they're still not talking about it. And it's just crazy to me that you're seeing a kid that's still only 23, 24 years old making this game look so easy. And unfortunately, it took us years to get to where we are, to get on ESPN. And I think TNT is doing an excellent job with Biz and Gretz and all those guys, Liam and Anson and, you know, Rick Hockett.
Hey, if you would have left somebody off, they would have been pissed. Go ahead. You did great there. I thought that was smart. They're
all good dudes. I think, you know, our ratings have been through the roof from what I've been seeing lately. So that's good news for us. And I think we just got to keep building this game because we have, you know, like a Kucherov, you know, Stammers, the Heddies, the McDavids, the Dreisaitl's, Crosby's. I mean,
thank you.
You know, and you have to put these guys on TV because if you don't, then people are just missing out, and that's unfortunate.
There you go. Pat Maroon giving lots of love to Connor. Love it. That was like a solid 80-second rant just about McDavid in the middle there.
But it's true, right? Like, it's like the shitty thing is that we've been playing so late and the East Coast is missing out on a lot of this stuff. Yeah. And it's not just McDavid, it's McKinnon. It's Makar.
Like that game last night, Colorado St. Louis was incredible.
Oh man. Yeah. Props to St. Louis for tying it. And then in OT, it didn't look like they had any business in it. And then they pulled it off.
Yeah.
Fort Saskatchewan's own Tyler Bozak.
Bozy.
Happy to see it.
He gets a $150,000 bonus in his contract if they win this round.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Frank was talking about that today.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I thought it was neat how Maroon kind of took that question about the TV deal and all that and spun it into just pumping McDavid's tires. That was really
Wayne did his thing. Oh my God. What are you talking about?
Well, I used the analogy. We did I think it was a pregame show, or it might've been a real life with Frank, and the whole thing, you know, with 80s hockey versus now is like Celsius and Fahrenheit, you know, comparison. And we are in the Celsius era where they were making it, where it's tough to get 200 points is like, who knows? Maybe Connor McDavid can do it, but it's very, very hard. Yeah. So to have Connor produce the levels that he's producing at in this environment compared to like if you put him into in the condition he's in this in the whole 80s type game side, you know, the goalie size, the pace, all that stuff, like he'd have like 300 points a game. Like it's hard to not like it'll always be tough to like accurately quantify, but like it's always worthy of the debate. Like McDavid, he's not wrong, could be the best hockey player ever.
It's not just Connor too. Well, I mean, obviously Connor's doing amazing things, but Leon has just set back-to-back NHL records in 2 straight games.
Leon, we know, like, that's the thing. Leon's a playoff gamer, and just the shitty thing is he hurt his ankle, but like he's like willing, like he's just persevering through it. Like he's getting better with every game. Like obviously maybe it's not as bad as we thought. Like the first couple games, like he wasn't putting any weight on his edges. Like he was just kind of skating and distributing the puck, but now he's leaning into things and he's, doing what we're used to seeing. And it's just getting better and better by the game, better by the shift. And that was a concern going into this series, but now that, you're seeing how he is an absolute factor.
Yeah. Should we get to our conversation with our friend?
I mean, sure. Does he like Leon Draisaitl?
We'll find out. Very excited to welcome in Mike McKenna to the Real Life Podcast. Mr. McKenna, how you doing? How'd you enjoy that St. Louis Blues game last night? That was a wild one.
I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to look at when we watch that game? Are we supposed to take our eyes off McKinnon? Really?
He was unreal.
Honestly, man, I'm watching it and I'm thinking there's no chance St. Louis has a prayer in this game. None through the first period, especially first period and a half. Watching McKinnon blow through into the neutral into the offensive zone with his skates downhill, stick handling like crazy, slapping the stick on the ice. He just looked like he wanted it so bad. He's had pent up 4 games worth of emotion where nothing happened for him finally come out. And he finally broke the Ryan O'Reilly code. Dude, it'd been so hard for him to get past that because O'Reilly'd been so good against him. He wouldn't be denied. And then they lost. So I mean, man, I haven't come down from that game yet.
For me, that was a lesson about tonight's game for the Oilers. It's closing out a series ain't easy. They got to be on top of their game for all 60 minutes here.
Yeah, man, it's not. I've been in that situation before where, especially if you let that first one get away from you, that you have a chance to close out a series. Well, you start doubting and you can start to understand why, the Rangers were able to come back down from 3-1 against Pittsburgh is because they started to get a bit of mojo going and you get a hot goaltender and you get some scoring to happen. Think about how many times teams win 3 games in a row in a season.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. It's not outside the realm of normal. The numbers aren't on your side if you get down 3-1. But to me, that's why game 4s are just so important, man. 2-2 is a whole lot different than 3-1. And, even looking at Calgary and Edmonton right now, I really think Edmonton's in the driver's seat right now, but I don't think Calgary's going to go off into the night silently.
No. And that's part of the reason I'm a little nervous about tonight, but the series was almost 2-2 and it was almost 2-2 because of a goal against by Mike Smith. And you as a former goaltender, I would love your take on this. What did you see there? What's the reason why maybe that went in? Just take us through that goal.
Well, it was a field goal. Yeah. It came from, I don't know. Where do you think Rasmus Andersson was, guys? Maybe top of the circle in his own defensive zone.
132 feet away. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really impressive, Tyler, considering you're Canadian and and that's not metric. So I'm massively impressed with you rattling off 135 feet. What happened was as soon as the puck left Anderson's blade, there were 3 of those dark navy and burnt orange jerseys that crossed in front of Mike Smith, and the puck got lost in it. And it's not very different than an outfielder in baseball that loses a ball in the sun or at nighttime in the lights. It's really similar to that. And you know what? There's buildings that it doesn't necessarily take the jerseys. There's buildings that have dark seats. And if there's not enough people in the stands, which my career in the minors, I experienced that a lot. You could lose a puck in the stands. That wasn't the case here. Smith just lost it in a sea of navy. And before you know it, it's past him, man. I had a similar one happen to me. I was playing in Binghamton, New York, and it went off a D stick. It went 20 feet in the air. I lost it. Only way I knew it was in the net is because I heard it hit the padding behind me. And then it came out back through my feet the other direction. That's a horrible feeling, but you also know it's a complete fluke. And I think that's why it was easy for Edmonton to recover from that play.
Was that impressive to you that they didn't fold up after that? Because I was at the game at game 4, and let me tell you, Rogers Place got real quiet.
Yeah. It's interesting as I've heard, we just did a podcast yesterday, Burnside and I did Suitcase and the Scribe with Leah Hextall, who was in the building. And she said Rogers has been the loudest building she's been in, just insane. And to hear it just go vacuum quiet when that puck went in was crazy. But like I said, it was such a fluky incident that it wasn't like it was anybody's fault. It's not like the Oilers did 18 wrong plays and quit playing and the puck ended up in the back of their net. If that happens, you really worry and you look at your teammates and you're like, God, guys, what are we doing? This was just one of those where it's all you can do is laugh, and you just go about your business. So I'm actually not surprised from the team perspective that they were able to stay together, but it really was something to hear the arena just go like pin drop silent, man. It just showed how unique that goal was.
Yeah. Oh. The other side of this goaltending matchup, and maybe we'll circle back to Smith in a second here, but the Oilers have Jacob Markstrom's number, and it does not make sense how he struggles so mightily as a Flame against the Oilers, yet he has figured out all the 30 other teams in the league he goes up against have not figured him out. The Oilers have. What do you see in this Markstrom Oilers matchup?
Well, there's a couple things at play here. And first off, I know Markstrom's numbers look, well, frankly, atrocious in the series, and the numbers are. And the first game that the Flames won, that 9-6 run and gun debacle, I didn't like Markstrom's game at all. Like, I thought the 2 goals that Hyman scored were really poor. He was lingering on his post and RVH, which just meant that he stayed on his knees way too long and gave up angle. And I didn't like that game for him. Now, the ones past that, I don't think he's really been as bad as the numbers look, but there's things that I think he can do to improve, because obviously McDavid and Kane and the Oilers in general have his number in tight for me. And what they're doing is just trying to go around him. They see how wide he gets in his stance. He gets really low, and he's not able to explode side to side as well. And when the Oilers are attacking the net, they've exposed that for me. And that's where I think these guys got to get a stick involved. Like, he's given away his entire crease, the area in front of him. He's letting the Oilers players go wherever they want. So I think Markstrom has to actually be more aggressive in tight around his crease and try to force the Oilers players to beat him clean with a shot. If they keep going around you, man, sometimes you got to get a little drastic and do something different, because the skill level of the Oilers is really what's crushing Markstrom to me. And obviously it doesn't help with a puck handling gaffe 30 seconds into a game doesn't look good. It did go off the boards in a funny bounce. I'm not giving him a free pass here. Okay. This isn't goalie union saying, well, it took a weird bounce, whatever. No, you can't rush it there. And he rushed it and ended up in the back of the net.
And I see, and it's interesting too, because you're right, his numbers aren't good, but when you go back to, like, I thought he was excellent early in game 3, like that first period, it could have been 3-0 Oilers just off McDavid scoring chances alone after the first. Markstrom held them in it. And then in the second, the Flames were flat again. And that's when things went south. And then in game 4 early on, he had the gaffe. The Hyman goal, don't blame him for. The Kane goal went off a defenseman's stick. And then Markstrom
he got a ton of flack for that one. And that's not a stoppable puck unless it hits him. Yeah. People are going to hate hearing that, but it's not unless it hits him the way it deflected.
So, but then in the final 40, he was great. Like right before they tied it up, he robbed Leon Draisaitl on that power play opportunity. So there's a little part of me as an Oilers fan that is like, I'm kind of nervous that Markstrom is maybe just going to finally figure it out and find his groove. Do you think that's possible, or do you think the Oilers are just so much of a better team that they'll just keep grinding down Calgary and finding ways to get to the goalie?
I don't know if Markstrom has to post a shutout. I think if Markstrom can keep it to 2 or less, man, he's got a pretty good chance. That's tall order against the Oilers right now, the way they're playing. But I mean, I think you can even look at the Colorado St. Louis series and see how Ville Husso played in game 5 for the Blues. He allowed 4 goals, but man, he made a huge difference for his club, like some big time saves that gave them a chance to win that game. And it took drastic measures for them to come through. But I think that's what Markstrom needs. Like, let's face it, Markstrom needs to be 1 goal better every game is what it's been, more or less. 1 or 2 goals better. And if you're not at your absolute peak in playoffs, that can bury you. Yeah. And dude, McDavid's got 25 points in 11 games in playoffs here. Like, I mean, second round, Draisaitl's got 13 and 11, 13 points in the 5 games. Wow. Like, look at Calgary, Gaudreau, no goals, right? Like, the disparity in the scoring right now it's more than Markstrom. But to your point, Tyler, if he could steal one, boy, that would go a long way for that team, because I feel like they need a huge individual performance for Calgary.
I don't even want to think about it, but I know you have to say that.
Yeah.
What about the other side, Mike? What are you seeing from Mike Smith's game? Because right now, to this point at least, he has played better than Jacob Markstrom. And I think for a lot of people coming into this series, that was probably not expected. I
don't think any of us really looked at Mike Smith going into playoffs and, like, frankly, wanted to believe in him. which is like, it's kind of harsh because this is a guy with a .931 career save percentage in playoffs. And he's been lights out, and he's got a .931 in this year's playoffs, ironically enough. But it goes beyond just the save percentage. Like I think Smith just brings confidence to the Oilers right now. And that started at the end of the regular season. And we can't discount the fact that he was hurt for a lot of the year. And, Jay Woodcroft said something the other day that I thought was pretty important, that, Smith actually didn't play a lot this year. He may have been hurt, but he doesn't have the wear and tear of the regular season on his body right now. Whereas like, look at Markstrom. Markstrom played almost every game, man. Like they ran him hot in Calgary. And in some ways, I think Smith coming in, he's got energy, like he's not tired at all here. That dude's in phenomenal shape. Like if you ever see him out at the beach, he's shredded, like crazy shredded. But to me, I think it's not just that he handles the puck well. We always talk about his puck handling, but even if he doesn't have to handle the puck, it's a deterrent. Like Calgary has to be perfect with their dumps. And that throws a team off like Calgary that has typically been so good on their forecheck and getting pucks low to high plays was their bread and butter. I mean, Gaudreau down behind the goal line, feeding Lindholm in the slot, have not seen much of that. So I think that the puck handling is one aspect, but Smith's depth, he plays deeper than just about everybody. He's a big goaltender at 6'5". He could do that. It's built for playoffs because for the most part, shots in playoffs, teams start to funnel. They go from the outside. Smith is almost always there, and he's able to get across laterally. He made a couple of big time saves laterally last game. And the one thing I've seen him do that I think has been conscious as the year's gone on is that he has been more patient on his edges, staying on his feet than I think at times. A couple of times earlier this year, he got crushed with bad short side goals, or he's on his knees for way too long. I've seen him try to hold his edges longer purposefully, and I think that's given him a better chance to get across and make some of these saves.
I love that insight.
Well, we're talking to the right guy.
Oh yeah.
It's I was his teammate twice too. So obviously I admire the guy an awful lot, but you look for those little adjustments, right? Like, this is what I mean. Like if Markstrom starts throwing the paddle around, keeping McDavid from going across in front of him, like that's something to keep an eye on. Is he going to do something different there? I love those little in-game adjustments.
You told me earlier today you have ribs in the smoker. How are those going?
Good. Started off a little cool. I didn't get the proper heat that I wanted right off the bat, but I was able to fix that pretty quickly with the leaf blower. If you ever need oxygen for your coals, if you need to get your fire a little hotter.
Okay.
You just pull out that leaf blower and let it have it. Because all it needs is oxygen. So yeah, they're good. They're about 3 hours into the smoke right now, probably another 2.5. They're baby backs. I'm going to sauce them for the last hour. They're going to be real nice.
These BOA ribs?
Battle of Alberta.
Yeah.
I suppose we could call them that. I mean,
pulling all the big guns. I like it. Hopefully they're lucky ribs.
When did you get so into cooking? Was it something you picked up during your playing career or after it?
Yeah, it was during. Really? And the reason being was because, like, as a pro athlete, as a pro hockey player, you're usually home by, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You go to the rink in the morning, you're there, you do your workouts, whatever. And then you just have like all afternoon. And, I tried to learn how to play guitar. I'm terrible at that. I hadn't had kids yet. Had a dog, walk them. Great. I just figured if I'm going to eat and enjoy it, I want to learn how to do this. And so it was early in my playing career. And there were two things. Like I started to watch Top Chef, a TV show, like just on a whim.
Yeah.
And I got like totally into it. And then I got a Food and Wine subscription, started trying to make the recipes out of it, and kind of took off from there. So now I've, my last year pro, I spent all my training camp per diem on a chef's knife in Ottawa. And I'm kind of proud of that. And I dare not tell my wife what it cost.
Didn't I hear, I can't remember what it was, in Portland or somewhere. Weren't you a food writer as like a side gig?
Yeah. In Portland, Maine.
Portland. Okay. Yeah. I nailed it. Yes.
Yeah. I only got to do one review because the team was unceremoniously sold and moved to Springfield, Mass. Dude, I had it set up for the whole next season that I was going to be the guest food critic for the Portland Press Herald. Like, ooh. I reviewed Pacerino, an Italian restaurant. Like, I got paid for it and everything, man. I got this meal stipend. I got paid. It ran in the paper. That was awesome. And like the editor kind of was like, she had this whole vision for what she wanted me to do of being like the ex-athlete coming in, talking about it and kind of like cheesy cliches. And what I turned in right off the bat was like New York Times food critic style. Like I took it so seriously. And I tell you what, I was actually happy though, that she kind of guided me towards her vision, because it actually did make sense and it was better in the end. But at first I was kind of like, what do we do? I actually really want to do this, man. Yeah. And, so it was fun. I wish I could have kept doing it.
St. Louis needs a food critic.
We could make that into YouTube video content. Maybe make it with McKenna, where you can like show us some of your favorite recipes, do some video stuff.
Yeah, teach them how to make BOA ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I need to start thinking of a theme there, or I need to think of a way to tie that in with Calgary or Edmonton in some way. So now you got the wheels turning here. Because I mean, these are St. Louis style ribs, rubbed with the sauce on. I got to think of a way. I got to dig into the cultural heritage of barbecue in Alberta.
All right. I know you're big into making pizzas, right? Like that's one of your specialties. Yeah. Okay. If you were having the real life boys over for a dinner tonight to watch the game, ribs and pizza aside, what's like a Mike McKenna specialty that you'd be going to for us?
Dude, I love making tacos.
Okay.
And I don't mean like just get ground beef and chuck some like the seasoning packet on it. There's a couple different tacos that I like to do. Different varieties that are kind of churched up and a little upscale. But what I love to do is have like 2 or 3 proteins out and just like all the sides and fixins and just let people go hog wild, man. Cause like you think about a party, like people don't want to, if you're watching hockey or you're hanging with the dudes, like you don't want to have to sit down with a plate of dinner. You just want to grab a paper plate and a cold beer and a couple tacos and muck it, maybe some guacamole. And if I can make like super good proteins or fillings to go for that makes me really happy.
You would also be happy to know that Tyler tried guacamole for the first time when we were down in Los Angeles. First ever time.
It's pretty good. Give me the review. Like Tyler, dude, I know you're burgeoning now.
We need to help him, Mike. We need to help him.
Well, I
tried my best in Vegas at the All-Star game. Scott Burnside and I had a phenomenal meal with Tyler. That you branched out a little bit.
I did. I had, what was it? Chilean sea bass?
Yes. Also known as Patagonian toothfish.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
We've talked about that.
Yeah. So I did that. There was a seafood tower. I don't venture into seafood very often. Mike had me eating that. You guys had me try guacamole. It was good.
We forced it on you.
Well, not really. I was we were having wine and I was a little drunk.
We were having
brose. Yes. And I was like, dude, this looks good. I tried it. So yeah, it's good.
I'm proud of you, man.
I've had it again since that point.
You're hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, I'll let you in on a secret. Right. I didn't try guacamole until later in my life because I looked at it and it was green and it looked weird and I didn't want to eat it when I was a kid. And I've gotten past that visual aspect now and I get it, but I'm very proud of you, Tyler. And I know that this is just the beginning of your journey and I can't wait to hear more as you go longer.
He's got a long journey ahead of him. It is amazing the amount of things on his list that he has not tried.
One day I'll get brave enough to do sushi with you. One day.
You're get him to eat ketchup next.
Yeah, ketchup on his fries. That's where we're going.
All right.
That's usually that's all my daughter eats. She just ketchup on everything. That's how I get her to eat everything.
I feel like that's like a pretty common thing for kids, right? Just
ketchup is the bomb. I love ketchup.
All right. Mr. McKenna, thanks for doing this, man. Goalie talk, food talk. This was good.
Of course, dude. Anytime. I love hanging with you guys. Right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Enjoy the hockey tonight.
Will do.
Enjoy the ribs.
Yes.
BOA, baby. Let's go.
All right. See you, Mike.
You got it.
There you go. There's Mike McKenna. What a beauty.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I just love that. I love that he, as a side project while he was playing, he got a food writing job.
Right.
Food critic. I think that's just hilarious.
So good. Yeah, he's good stuff. And I'm excited. He always tweets. Follow him on Twitter because he always tweets out the food when he makes it. And if you just scroll through there, some of the stuff he's made is very interesting. So I'm excited for the picture of his St. Louis style BOA ribs.
The DFO cookbook?
That could be something. We should have talked to him about McKenna's magic picks too for PointsBet.
He's been pretty hot, hasn't he?
Pretty hot. Yeah. He's been really good.
I think he had last night. He had Lekkinen to score, but
no, he had Barbashev to score.
Oh, Barbashev to score,
and he did not hit. But before that, he was doing really well.
Yeah, well, it's can't hit them all, man.
Yeah,
it's got to hit more than you don't.
Speaking of good food, I mean, McKenna is very good at making like the deep dish style pizza homemade. He's always posting about that. You know who else does it very well?
Nelly.
That's just a guy from St. Louis.
Yeah, I was just thinking. City Spud.
Campio Brewing does.
City Spud.
Campio Brewing makes an excellent kind of deep dish style pizza.
There's always legit.
Yeah,
it is.
If you're heading to the game and you're, downtown and all that, whether you're going to game 6 or what could be game 1 or 3 of the conference finals, and you're like, hey, I need a good spot to eat. Campio, close to the rink, good beer, lots of different beers on tap.
I'm a hazy IPA guy.
Fantastic pizza. The pizza there is very good. So shout out to our friends at Campio Brewing. Whether you're going there to watch an away game, it's a good spot for that, or on your way to a home game. Campio's the spot. Before we talked to Mike, or before we started recording today, you guys were talking about some bets for tonight. What are we feeling? Here's my thing. Here's my problem right now for the Oilers. Heading into this series, I was nervous. I have not bet on Edmonton to win a single game yet.
You can't now. You can't.
So I can't.
You can't. You have been banished.
But they're plus 130. It's a good line.
I know, it's so juicy. You should do it.
I know. But, or is it bad juju now for me to bet on them?
Okay. Once again, we sometimes bet to manifest, so maybe it's okay. But shame on you for not betting on the win.
I know.
I got Nuge to score again.
I mean, why not?
How about that free bet I hit?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's nice.
So good.
Really
I got the same free bet and I put on Hyman. I was really excited.
Yeah.
Bets like I'm going to have fun in the props, but I'm not going to get too crazy on everything else outside of that. I am just betting Oilers money line, manifest that win, just get the W. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I got Leon to score too. You can't tell me he's going to be held off the board 3 games in a row.
Well, the Leon
assist machine.
Yeah. Over 1.5 has just been auto hit.
Mm-hmm. Well, same McDavid over 1.5, even though the odds are terrible.
Yeah, but I know. So that's why shifted over to Leon.
I bet it at minus 160 the other day just because. And
I respect anyway. That's just supporting your boy once again. Like sometimes you also have to bet to support your favorite players.
Okay. I feel that. That's why I went with Nuge to score first. I was like, you know what? Got to manifest some good luck from Nuge, and the hockey gods were with me.
He's a streaky scorer too, so I could see him potting another one tonight.
Yeah.
When he's hot, he's hot.
Yeah. And I can see him getting a power play goal.
Interesting.
And
Nuge
just
style, like true Nuge style.
How fired up he was after the game winner.
Never seen him that animated in my life.
Normally it's the very... Twice. Yeah, exactly. He swore twice in the postgame.
You got to see the Nuge.
He's very subdued in his celebrations. He's got the one little fist pump, but like he was fired up.
I love it. And then obviously the fans who deservedly need to be where they are and see the players in the press conference were chanting Nuge's name, and it was fantastic.
I was, because for that game I was a big media boy. Frank brought me up to the press box.
Up in the press box. I was trying to find you. The good thing about trying to find you is you're with Frank Saravalli, who has silver hair.
So you did see us?
Yes.
Nice. I was sitting.
How hard was that though? Just not cheering.
Okay. So like, if you don't know, when you're up in the press box, you can't wear jerseys, like no booze. You just sit in your suit and there's no cheering.
Were you in a suit?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
I was wearing the same coat that I have in my profile picture that Brownlee always makes fun of me for. So I was sitting next to Avery Lewis McDougall. Shout out to our boy,
roasted by Brownlee. Eh?
Roasted by Brownlee. And then Frank was on my left side. And the first 3 goals, I didn't cheer. I was good. Not even a reaction. Just sat there still. When Nuge scored the winner, it was just like an instinct. I just had a fist bump. I was like, and I looked at Frank and I was like, oop, yeah, nothing going on there. And then I texted Bagged Milk in all caps multiple times.
Yep.
And I said, I knew you were at the game and I knew you'd be fired up. I just texted you in all caps. I said, Nuggy, you sexy son of a bitch, let's go. And then I said, I can't cheer, so I'm putting all my energy into this fucking rights. I
saw, by the way, at that game, I was at it, and I saw one of the wildest things I've ever seen at a bar at Rogers Place. I was in between the second and third periods going to get I was drinking Caesars. Felt good about it.
Yeah. BOA Caesars.
Absolutely. So I went to grab a fresh one, and there was a guy, the line wasn't moving and I couldn't figure out why. Normally they're just, especially with Caesars, they've got them all pre-made behind and they're just knocking them out. Yeah. It was not moving. This guy though decided it was him and a crew of his buddies, and there was a group of girls there. So there's probably 8 in total, but he decided he was going to buy drinks for everybody in the line. Everybody. They went through about 3 bottles of vodka, pouring out shots of vodka for people, handing out beers to people like crazy. I'd never seen
an Uber baller play.
Absolutely.
Top of the pops.
I tried to get a look at how much the bill was. I couldn't quite see it, but I think it was 2,500 bones that he dropped.
I love it. I love that.
Passing out dozens of beers, dozens of shots. Like I said, they went through 3 bottles of vodka. But like, he was just giving them out to everybody that was around. If you were at that bar and you got a free one, that guy was,
If you're listening to this and you got one of the free drinks, let us know.
I'd love to hear from you because.
And shout out that guy. Like, he obviously he's done well and he's having such a good time. And this is like when it's playoff run, we're all family and he just wanted to take care of the family.
Well, the looks on people's
I think he was a cocaine dealer, Jay.
Allegedly. The looks on everybody's face was also very funny because they were like, what? Why am I getting this? But then, okay. And then someone else maybe get a second one,
You take that drink.
So shout out to that guy.
Oh, that's nice.
That's fine.
I hope that he's doing well. Otherwise, he had an upset time when he looked at the old credit card the next day.
Wakes up the next morning, opens up the mobile banking, and it's like, oh boy.
Did I dream that? No, that happened. Okay. Onward and upward. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah. Hey, what jersey have you been rolling for the past 3 games?
I've been Since game 7 and on. I've been wearing just the old burnt orange McDavid because I'm like, you know what? This guy's showing up. Yeah. The captain, I just got to believe and lean into our captain. And I haven't looked back. And I'm actually not a big fan of the burnt orange, but I don't care. It's McDavid. That guy is the man and I'm all about it.
My Nuge jersey has served me well throughout these playoffs.
Is it getting some battle scars though?
It's gross.
That's great. The grosser the better.
It's not being washed.
Nor should it.
It's the logo on the front's looking rough.
Yeah.
It's seen better days, but also it is seeing its best days.
Exactly.
So the playoffs.
Everything you're doing with that jersey is correct.
100%.
I want them to win so bad tonight.
I know.
Positive vibes only.
And they can. It's just, they just like job's not done attitude, show up to work and just take it to them.
Yeah.
We've proven we can score. We can proven we can beat these guys. You just know Calgary's they're going to be trying extra hard tonight because their back's against the wall.
They're wounded animals tonight.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Like I said, if I'm Jay Woodcroft, I go full game 7 mode on McDavid, play him 27 minutes and let Calgary try and figure that out.
100%.
Yeah. I think that's a perfectly fine plan.
Because they've got no answer for him.
It's just a function of like, the guy has just gone another level. We've said it a million times. Everyone is saying it, but like he just will not be stopped. He's just like, he's made that decision. He's gone through these years. He is a perfectionist. He is, a genius of the sport, a mega talent. So he takes these years, he takes that sweep against Winnipeg. He takes those other, heartaches that we've had and he uses those and channels those to figure out how can he be better? How can he prevent that from happening again? Mm-hmm. And he's doing it. Like there's no answer.
I think if there's anybody that's got Mamba mentality too, it's probably Connor.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all business.
I'm just looking at the numbers right now. At 5-on-5 in this series, McDavid has played 60 minutes and 45 seconds. So averaging 15 minutes and 10 seconds at 5-on-5 per game. The Oilers are outscoring the Flames 11-4 in that span. That means if you say shift lengths are a minute, he's averaging a goal like every 5 shifts right now. Or the Oilers are averaging a goal every 5 McDavid shifts.
That's why he's got to be out there.
So
load him up.
Get him out for 50 shifts this game.
Yeah, play them all 60.
And that's 10 goals.
Yes, correct.
All right. I think we figured out our game plan.
Yaremchuk math.
I can't he's going to be on a different planet tonight heading into this game.
Like, once again, this is like, so now he's learning faster, right? Normally it's like the off season, he goes and works on things. All his tools are there. So that game 4 and 5 of last series, they are very upset at themselves for what they did. So it's like never again. So like we saw what we saw in game 4. So like, I expect a really solid effort here. Like, just can Calgary counteract?
The AI is becoming self-aware.
Yes, he is. He is cybernet.
I got a question for you guys, but first going to give some love to Oodle Noodle and our friends at DoorDash. Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Oh, I have a question for you.
I was at a board meeting today for Explore Edmonton, and one of the board members came up to me and said, I get the war wonton soup at least once a week.
That's so good.
My sister has a question for you.
Okay.
Oodle Noodle related.
Okay.
She is a vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
She loves your guys' tofu.
Okay.
You guys say you make your own tofu.
We do.
She wants to know if there is somewhere or a way for her to buy it in bulk.
It is good tofu. We've thought about selling it as a packaged product through the store.
Okay.
For us, it's a capacity issue. I don't know. Like we would love to actually get into the retail game, especially with the tofu. One of the things that we were thinking about adding to the menu is deep fried tofu. As an appetizer, because everyone like I don't mind tofu, like like people who love tofu like really love the tofu Sonny makes. Yeah. So it's a long answer I'm giving you, but it's something we're talking about. It would involve just increasing the capacity of tofu production, which would mean some equipment. Right now we're focused on making our own spring rolls, and completely bringing that in house, and also making all of our soups from the factory to the store. So we're focusing on those two things, and then we can circle back to that. So it is something we've thought about, and I appreciate the fact she likes it. Sonny will be happy.
My sister will get that answer after we're done recording this podcast.
Or she can just listen. Does she listen?
No, she doesn't listen. Although because she's not a sports fan. I have one sister who is a bit of a sports fan. The other one's not. But she told me the other day, she goes, I think I'm starting to get into the playoffs a little. I was like, oh yeah. And she goes, yeah, like usually when I know they play, I'll Google what the score is to see how they're doing. And then she was like, the other day I Googled it. This was game 1 of the Flame series. She was like, I Googled it early and I saw they were going to lose whatever it was at that point, 3-0 or some shit. And then she's like, and then I checked later and they were only down by 1. And she was like, so I watched the third period. And I was like, wow, I'm very proud of it.
Hooked her in. Okay.
Good job. But she's my sister with 2 young kids. And the youngest one that is like a year and a half old. Yeah. She loves calling me in the morning and saying, go Oilers. Because she knows it like makes me smile and laugh. So she calls me every morning and does like, go Oilers.
I think, fun playoff runs, like everyone, like it's like a moth to a flame in terms of like just all the energy and vibrancy that a playoff run has on the city. Like it just brings everyone, like, it's funny. Like my girlfriend's sister who would like, she knows the Oilers are in Edmonton, but knows nothing about it. She's now into the playoffs.
Nice.
And like, I'm getting texts in our chat group and she's like, oh my God, this game's insane. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like that's what, that's what playoff hockey can do.
And that's what I love about the playoffs. Like this is how you create another layer of just diehards within your fan base. There will always be people who come and go with the playoffs, but there will be, let's say, out of the bandwagon fans, half of them, I guarantee you, when the regular season comes next year, will be more dialed into the Oilers because of this run right now.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
Well, I had somebody leave a message on my podcast, Better Late Than Never, the other day. He was, I think, 23 or 24. So this was the first time he's really been able to experience it as an adult. And like, that's what sinks it for you.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember 2006, I was 21 and that just cements things for life.
100%. Because you can live the full experience.
Yep.
That means having a beer, Tyler.
I know.
Going to the pint scene
and having a cool, and definitely going to see Rick. Oh, everyone's got to go see Rick. Go see Rick.
How many views did that video get?
It's been picked up by like every social account there is. It's amazing.
He was so funny when I went and saw him after the game. I was like a child in his arms. He was just like swinging me around the bar. It was very funny.
Oh man.
We had the best time.
I love it. And I'm happy for Rick. I'm happy for, I'm just happy for the hospitality business, like going through the 2-year stretch that they did.
Yep.
And to now just see them, they're all busy. It's vibrant, guys like Rick, who, that's the industry he works in, like just seeing how he's doing. Like he is just so happy, and he's happy for a lot of reasons, Oilers hockey, but also like his business that he's a very important part of is also thriving. So it's just good to see on all levels.
One thing that's been very interesting for me on Twitter, Surveyor Brett's done a great job tweeting out the referee matchups.
Oh yeah.
And so tonight the Oilers are getting Eric Furlat and Wes McCauley.
Ooh, we're getting Wes, big gun.
And Surveyor Brett made an interesting note. These two worked game 1 of this series, and McCauley traditionally puts the whistle away in the third period. 32% of his penalties called are in the first, 41% in the second, 27% in the third.
That's only 4% down from the first.
Still puts whistle away. I'm just reading Surveyor Brett tweets. The Oilers' record in the regular season with these two is a combined 1-3.
A big part of tonight is going to be staying disciplined for the Oilers.
Scrum discipline, baby.
Yeah, Calgary's the one who's going to be tense, and they're going to be the ones that might get a little aggressive just because they're going to be trying very hard.
Yep.
Let them. Scrum management, yes, but if a teammate needs your help, you help him.
If they need, it's needed. Everybody in the pocket,
and don't stop hitting. But let them go a little crazy.
So here's the question I wanted to wrap up the podcast with. I want everyone's take on this. In these big games, the Oilers have won. The Stars have been unreal, but they've also gotten big goals from other parts of their lineup.
Yamamoto,
right?
He's due, and McLeod.
Yeah, because game 6 it was Barry. Game 7 it was CC. Game 2 against Calgary, it was Duncan Keith scoring that goal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And game 4, it would have been
Nuge.
Yeah, game 4 would have been Nuge. Game 3, who would have been the hero in game 3 when they won?
Evander Kane.
Yeah, Evander Kane.
And Zach. Oh yeah, Zach Hyman too.
Cool.
Hyman's got goals in every game this series.
Yeah,
sounds to me like we're a team with only one guy.
Yeah, what a joke!
I love that. All the memes and stuff that have come with the one guy thing.
Yep,
that's great.
So let's go around the horn.
Kaylor Yamamoto.
He's your unsung hero pick for tonight, BM?
Yeah. He's due. He's playing well. He's a dog on a bone. He's relentless. I can see him getting a greasy one right in the crease.
Yeah, that's where he's going to live. 100%.
Yeah, Mo, I like that.
I'm going to go Ryan McLeod. He's due. The guy is skating so well. And he's creating, and he's learning the playoff game more and more. And I think he's due. I bet him last game to score twice. It was very, very juicy. It obviously did not hit, but if it did, wow, it would have been amazing.
Wanye, unsung hero pick.
Zach Hyman, does he qualify? Was he too?
No, I think he got to go more off the board.
Yeah, he's got a goal every game this series.
Yeah,
I think he's coming up with another big one though.
Yeah,
second round Zach Hyman is legit.
Oh, yeah, which is something that, and the Leafs never got to see it. And that's what, if they just got to the second round, they could have gone much further.
I never thought I'd see someone try to take Jesse Puljujärvi's crown of happiest Oiler, but Zach Hyman is happier than Puljujärvi.
Hear him after the game on the ice when he was doing his interview with Tony Brar?
He did the Nuge.
Nuge. Yeah.
That was good. My unsung hero pick tonight, I'm going to agree with you and say Ryan McLeod finds the back of the net tonight. Big goal from Clowder off the rush sparks the Oilers.
Clowder.
Wanya,
we need yours.
Well, Zach Hyman, I'm just trying to think. Koderick Ceci again? Perhaps?
Sure.
Does he have a second hero in him?
He
scored that goal against the Kings. I was like, you're the new Descharnay. I don't care what you do. You're a good man.
He gets in the mix. He gets into positions to be able to score. So I think that's a great pick.
He's been so quietly solid,
I love quiet. Love quiet.
I could also see
a lot of Kenny Holland's off the board moves of people he brought in. Most of them are working right now.
I could also see Dad getting one.
Push bomb.
A big clap from the point.
Yeah. Go check out the Bush Bomb tee. It's actually awesome. Kenny did a great job.
NationGear.ca. We have a couple of new t-shirts launched. It's Schmitty Battles, which Jay rocked on the pregame show today.
Oh yeah, and right now, didn't take it off.
Yep. Then we get the Bush Bomb tee. And then we have our Pride Month tee dropping.
Yep.
And there's a charity connection.
100%. As always.
Yeah. So check all that out. Also, something neat that we're doing. Jared sent me an email about this. Wayne Gretzky's dropping NFTs, and we're going to be doing it's Gretzky, Sports Illustrated, and eBay teaming up to drop Gretzky NFTs. And I think we might be giving some away on our socials. So keep it locked. That we're gonna just keep your eye on Oilers Nation. There'll be something more on the Gretzky NFT and how you get your hands on one.
Tease,
big tease. All right. Oh, let's hope.
Game 5. Game 5. We are in Calgary. Smitty battles after game 4, where he made a little bit of a mistake, but still bounced back, which we think is going to make him even more of a battler tonight. And I know he wants nothing more than to go and just fucking stonewall the Flames in an elimination game on their ice.
All right. Shout out to Campio Brewing, Alfa Romeo, Cattail Crossing, Oodle Noodle, DoorDash, and our title sponsor, the HGA Group.
Don't forget City Spud.
Episode 382.
Hockey here was like 21 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
21 years.
Oh, I just saw an article about, I think it's the 30th anniversary of Encino Man.
Oh my God.
That was
Notorious B.I.G.'s 50th birthday was last week.
Oh my goodness.
He died at 24.
Wow.
He died. Wow, man.
Really?
That's great. Too young.
Yeah.
Way too young.
Too young. Ray Liotta.
Yeah, I'm due to watch Goodfellas again now.
What happened earlier? He passed away?
Passed away today.
Did he?
Yeah.
There's
67
worse
years
ways
old.
to go, though, being in like the Bahamas, the 5-star hotel, filming a movie at 60, whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
Oh, also shout out, and this
With
is
his rocket fiance.
Tommy Ulsrud, Norwegian curler.
Oh yeah, that was too bad.
He passed away young.
Great curler and a curling fashion icon.
A fashionista. Changed the game.
He did. Oh boy, that's a sad end of the episode.
I know.
Shout out to City Spot.
Everybody's dead. Let's go Oilers.
Go Oilers.
Go Oilers. Let's end this series tonight, baby.
4-2 win, baby.
Thanks for listening to episode 382. We'll talk to you next week to get set for maybe round 3.